St. Jude, one of the two saints that we celebrate today, is often called the patron of difficult situations, or in some cases, even the patron of lost causes. And that's because of his name. He is Judas, the son of James, and very few people wanted to pray to Saint Judas. They always preferred to go to saints whose names didn't immediately remind them of the most famous traitor in all history. And so it was assumed that if someone got down to praying to St. Jude, that means they must have really, really, really needed the help. The situation must be really bad if you go all the way down the list and get to St. Jude. And I think that St. Jude really appreciates that recognition he has as the one you can always turn to when the situation is really bad. Because I think there's something beautiful about being able to pray for and care for the people who need it most. And so, in a way, there is a blessing even in this seeming misfortune. And I don't think that's on accident. After all, we know there are no coincidences in God's providential plan. When Jesus went up the mountain and spent the evening praying and talking to his Father, he knew what he was doing. When he came down and he, as a fruit of that prayer, chose his 12 disciples, he knew who they were. He knew what was going to happen. He chose Judas Iscariot knowing that he would betray him. He chose St. Jude knowing that there was going to be that confusion and that strange circumstance of their overlapping names. And because of that, something beautiful happened. And I think that's a wonderful reminder for each and every one of us. Because in all of our lives, there's going to be different unexpected coincidences. There's going to be little blessings and little challenges that come from things that seemingly had no meaning and did not matter, but end up being extremely important. And if we're open to God's grace, if we're open to hearing what the Lord is trying to guide us to in that, these seeming misfortunes can be opportunities for great blessing for us. Things that seem to be just accidents can end up being opportunities to make God present in our lives and in our world. I think we have to really look for those opportunities, really take advantage of them, because God wants to do great things, and He is able to right straight with crooked lines. So the things that we can see as challenges or even as unfortunate can really be opportunities to see His working. So when you're going through one of those difficult moments, it's important to be able to ask for God's help, to let Him know that you're suffering, to ask for release from that. Those are all good and valuable prayers. But hopefully, we also see it as an opportunity to ask God to reveal His plan to us, to look for opportunities to love in the situation you're in, to identify with other people who are going through things that are just as difficult, and to try to find a way to sanctify it. After all, if even sharing a name with a traitor can be the source of great blessing for the world, so it is with the challenges in our own lives. If we're able to let God work in them, we can transform ourselves and the world around us and make them a little bit more loving.